We have apparatus from air support, which is one tanker and a helicopter that are en route to the location right now.
The White Pine brush fire near Hornbrook in Siskiyou County has as many as 75 firefighters making progress tonight to force the evacuation of 40 residents. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Art Barron. Now, the winds have died down after the fire broke out shortly before 5:30 this evening, but for the most of the evening, it forced dozens of people to get out of their homes. Now, tonight, CAL FIRE says that the White Pine fire is pretty well contained. Now, residents near Hornbrook were under a mandatory evacuation order. Those living on Moore and Juniper Roads and Flamingo Drive and Wigian Place had to leave their homes. NBC5's Elizabeth Ruiz is live with tonight's top story at 11. Elizabeth.
Art, the evacuation has been lifted and everyone can go back to their homes, but the evacuated residents were previously directed here at the Siskiyou Golden Fairgrounds in Wairika. Susie Brady with CAL FIRE says the fire in Hornbrook area burned nearly 46 acres and threatened 40 structures, but is now 30% contained. No structures were actually burned and nobody was injured, but it did take 3 air tankers and 2 helicopters to help contain the fire. Melissa Helms, who lives in the area, says she was shocked to see a fire in Hornbrook so early in the season.
I got off of work in Wairika and I saw the smoke. I couldn't really tell where it was coming from. I thought it was my house down there. So I raced home and then I saw that it was on White Pine and my parents live right at the top of the hill.
Helms says after many calls to her parents' cell phone since the phone lines were down, she eventually got a hold of them and found them to be safe in their home. Now, another resident who lives right down the hill from the fire says he was about to take his dogs to the river when his stepson saw smoke behind their house. He says they never got evacuated, but his family was ready to leave with all their essentials packed.
My wife's computer and took my 2 dogs, sleeping bag and my guitar. I think that's it. What we need in this life.
Brady says the wind made it a challenge to contain the fire as it was pushing the fire in many different directions. Due to power lines and hot spots, crews have remained in the area to make sure it's safe for residents. And Brady says they are still investigating how the fire got started in the first place. Live in Wairika, Elizabeth Ruiz, NBC5 News.